Hey there guys, this is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke, and I'm going to be reviewing a cool little movie. I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Movie 2, Sleeping Princess in Devil's Castle. This is the first time I've actually seen this movie. In fact, I think I talked about it. I think it was during the review of the Kai final chapters, and I think I might have talked about it during the super review. I'm going to be uploading this after, even though I'm recording it before the super review's been uploaded. I don't exactly remember what I said in that review. Also, sorry in advance if I sound kind of nasally and even a little congested. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm not too sick. Just like a sore throat mainly, so I can't do too many big voice stuff. But like talking about movies and reviewing stuff, that's not going to be too much trouble. But yeah, like I said before, at least I'm pretty sure I talked about it in one of the videos, and I figure with Super being over now, at least for the time being, and until we see what happens once the Broly movie comes out. Again, if you want to keep up to date with my stuff, you definitely listen to the podcast, because I don't do too many news updates on things in these videos. But yes, I am aware that the new Super movie does involve Broly, so that's the thing. But yeah, that's for another subject. Let's get right into the movie. I'll go ahead and say this was the first, from what I understand, the first thing Funimation actually dubbed in-house before they started doing that part in Dragon Ball Z when like Goku gets on Namek and whatnot. And it kind of shows here. I don't know how it was in the original DVD release. The version I watched is like that movie 4-pack that includes the redub of Curse of the Blood Rubies, which, if you want me to review that, let me know. That was the first thing of Dragon Ball I ever saw back as a kid, so I can maybe talk about that as well. And I've actually seen both versions, the Funimation redub that uses the Kai cast, quote unquote. I say quote unquote just because, like, Monica Rial's doing Bulma, but they have Colleen Clinkenbeard being Goku, which is more of an association cast since she was Gohan, but like, she wasn't Kid Goku at that time, as far as I remember. I don't remember if there were any scenes in the first Kai that showed him like that, but also the original Ocean dub, or rather the Funimation produced Ocean dub. I've seen that one as well. We actually watched that one on the podcast as well. That was a nice little trip down memory lane. But anywho, so with this one being the first thing Funimation had ever like recorded in house, it definitely kind of shows a little bit. There are even a few casting differences. Goku is not voiced by Stephanie Nadonley, or I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but he's voiced by a different actress who I believe is going to voice him in the or who voiced him in Mystical Adventure as well, the next movie, and in some what do you call it, flashbacks in the early dubs of Z whenever they would do that. So yeah, from what I heard with hardcore fans, she's kind of the second fan favorite besides Colin Clinkenbeard. Personally, I like Miss Stephanie's performance as Goku. I feel like she kind of fits a little better, and she kind of matches Sean Schimmel's Goku, I think. They sound kind of similar to me, and I feel like because of that it works better. Krillin is still the same chick. Since it's her first time playing Krillin, you can kind of tell that she's sort of kind of warming up a little bit. Mike McFarlane is Master Roshi as well. It's his first time. And he sounds kind of toned down a little bit because obviously they're trying to kind of figure things out. Like, he hasn't really found the voice yet. Chris Sabat still does a Yamcha. Probably he makes him sound a lot younger. I don't know what they were really kind of going for. It's not really a surfer dude voice. It's more of like a scratchy kind of cool guy voice, like, come on guys, that's sort of how I took it. And I believe Oolong, I don't know who it's someone different. I don't think it's a they list Brad Jackson, so I guess it is Brad Jackson, but it's a different kind of Oolong. To be honest, it sounded like a completely different actor to me. Bulma is also someone different. I think I heard that it was the same chick who did her in the Ocean cast. I think that was like the one that they were able to keep. I don't remember, or it was just someone different. It wasn't Tiffany Vollmer. She doesn't come in until later on. She sounded pretty good, and the reason why I say she, I think it might be the Ocean chick because she kind of has sort of like that. She doesn't sound that similar. She sounds kind of to me a little bit. She does kind of sound like she's in sort of like a different sort of like mode set with her acting than the Funimation actors that they did get for this movie. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say. I'll have to look it up later on. But yeah, so keep that in mind if you want to watch this movie dubbed. It was technically the first thing Funimation ever dubbed in-house, so it'll definitely kind of have some weakness to it. From what I can tell, the script was actually pretty accurate. There are a couple like sort of dubisms that they threw in. Not many, but like you could even count on your hand. Like I think like there were like two. Like I think Krillin's all like he says something like some like quirky way of saying bye to Goku when he leaves him behind. And Launch or whatever you want to call her, because I know like her actual name in the Japanese version is Lunch, but of course we Western fans know her as or English speaking fans know her as Launch, who she also has a different voice, I believe. Her normal form or her blue hair form sounds the same. Her yellow hair form, I actually like the way it sounds better than the one they currently have. Obviously, they were going for style, but she does like a Monster Mash, or not Monster. She references some like monster themed song. Otherwise, the script was pretty. I didn't watch the sub, and I didn't watch it with subtitles on. So as far as I know, it could just be completely off. I doubt it though, because Dragon Ball, that was one thing back then with Funimation. They were kind of they paid a little more mind to the source material in that way. They weren't trying to kind of like punch it up for TV like they did with Dragon Ball Z. I felt like here, like it was relatively accurate as far as I can tell. I can't speak for, how the Japanese version goes, but another thing I actually noticed with the music, it was kind of hard to tell when everyone was talking, but the opening and ending theme songs had these very like almost sub-tape quality to them. They sound really muffled, really compressed. I have heard the Dragon Box the Movies version of some of it, and so I know that like they really clean up the audio a little bit. And I know this is only like the second movie, so obviously whatever like remastering they do to the audio is not going to be like completely perfect. But it sounded very kind of muffled. It didn't really bother me that much, just because like they're still good songs, and they didn't do the English dubs of the songs that they did, which I find kind of interesting considering it was a new release. Because again, I got the 4 movie pack. I didn't collect them individually back then. I got like the 4 movie pack that again included the redub of Curse of the Blood Rubies. So I feel like I doubt. I can maybe see why they would not want to redub some of it. I know they're sort of doing that now, sort of redubbing certain things. Like I know they did that for the Yu Yu Hakusho Blu-ray, but here, since it was their first dubbing on their own of anything, they probably wanted to kind of keep it as pure as possible, which is probably why they don't really dub too much or redub too much of Dragon Ball Z, because they kind of want to. It kind of has that special thing, like those who want like the re-recorded dialogue with the more accurate script and the actors who have had more time to really develop their skills. You've got Kai and Super and all that stuff, and if you want to watch the movies in order like I'm doing, then you can hear their progression from there. But basically, I found it kind of interesting that they would choose not to include the English versions of Makafushigi Adventure and Ramentiku Ageru yo. They did the Japanese versions, which I'm okay with that because I like the Japanese songs. But again, I did find it kind of weird how they didn't even bother to like do the English versions for this re-release, because it seems like Dragon Ball is like the one anime that Funimation likes to kind of do English versions of. And I imagine when the Yu Yu Hakusho, the new Yu Yu Hakusho anime shorts come out, they might, if there's a new song, they'll redub. They might dub that song, but if it uses the old song, I don't know, maybe they'll throw, or Smile Bomb or whatever, they'll throw in that. But yeah, it didn't really bother me that much. It was just something I kind of noted. But yeah, so the plot. The movie opens with a little piece of lore with some Chris Sabat narration. He does a pretty good job with the narration. It's not Bryce Armstrong doing the narration this time around. It's Chris Sabat. Apparently some evil demon named Lucifer kidnapped a princess and put a spell on her to make her go sleepy sleeps. And that's their little explanation of the bad guy. It's like a little lore piece. And she's in the deep corridors of the castle of Lucifer's castle. Next we see Goku being on his way to go train with Master Roshi. This takes place after the whole Emperor Pilaf thing. Where Goku decides he wants to go train with Master Roshi. He goes to Master Roshi's island, Kame House, and is all like, will you train me? And he's like, oh, I don't know. Then Krillin shows up to the whole thing where he flips off the boat, gets his head stuck in the sand. Goku helps him up. Yeah, thanks. Of course, here it's all like, I meant to do that. Like, and it's like, will you train me? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I brought you porn. He's like, maybe. I like porn. I need to jerk my wee-wee. He doesn't actually say that. Like early Dragon Ball stuff, especially for this time, they had a copyright of 2005, so I guess that's when they recorded it. I don't remember it being in 2005. I don't know if they had like a different release, because 2005 seems really that seems kind of late, because I was in middle school at that time. I feel definitely 2002 or 2003. I mean, again, I can't really remember, but they had that as the copyright. So I don't know. Maybe this movie pack uses a later DVD release. Like maybe like they just released it again and they just gave it like a different copyright date. I don't know, but it had like the 1987 or whenever the movie came out in Japan as well. And so they're all like, Master Roshi's all like, well, okay, I'll do a little thing. You have to go find this princess and bring her to me, and then I'll train you. She's in a castle, and she was put to sleep. Awaken her and bring her to me, and I will train you. I will train the one who does it. It's a race. And so, also, you can't do the flying Nimbus. You have to go there on foot, because this is a movie, and it has to be cool. I say movie, but it's like most Dragon Ball movies, where it's like 40 minutes long. So basically the equivalent of like 2 episodes. Without commercials. I imagine with commercials, maybe the equivalent of 1 episode? I don't know, because I'm thinking like with commercials, it's probably like 30 minutes to an hour, right? But on its own, it's like 20-something minutes. So then we get a little shot of, or not a shot, but like a little scene of Goku and Krillin trying to get to the castle. Funny little things of Krillin trying to get ahead. Like the first one is like they show them like, oh, your market's go, and like they're running, and they show like that spark. It looks like Krillin's like developing a crush on Goku. Like he's like do do do, and like it shows Goku looking all sparkly and Krillin looking at him, and then it goes to like his feet, and Krillin like trips over Goku and jumps over him. He throws rocks at him, and one of the funnier ones is like, look, we're getting attacked on our bridge, and he goes like, what? Look over there, and like he runs off and cuts the bridge that they're trying to cross. And another funny one is when they show friggin' Krillin getting on the bus eating a bento box. It's like, wow. That's Krillin. That is definitely Krillin to a T. Kind of reminds me of the whole Zig 2 Zag 4 thing from the dub. That's probably one of my favorite arcs of the original Dragon Ball. But they get there, and of course we also get scenes of Launch, who apparently knows about this sleeping princess thing, so she's trying to go to the castle. And then Bulma, Yamcha, Oolong, and Puar go to Kame House, I guess just to visit. And they're like, well, where's Goku and Shiz? Probably to visit Goku, to be honest. And Master Roshi's like, oh, well, I'd had them go to this castle to get a fake princess back. Or it's like, it's just a myth. But then they're all like, oh, fuck, we gotta go. And so they go over there as well. So we got like these 3 different parties trying to go to the same thing. They all get there. Goku and Krillin get there first, and of course they're just sort of traversing the castle. I really like sort of this whole section where they're kind of like looking through the castle and like kind of exploring a little bit. It's not a very long thing. And then they also show Bulma's and the gang getting there, which they have to crash land because they're going there by plane, and then like these fucking thugs start attacking them, and they crash the plane and launch. You know, she comes in there pretty late, so I guess she probably kind of. It seems like when they first show her, they kind of imply, or not, rather they show that like she's been kind of studying this whole sleeping princess myth for a while, so she probably already knows where it is, and so she has like she probably doesn't even have to GPS it or whatever. She probably just knows. But anyway, so while Goku and Krillin are like fighting off the thugs, including some weird like big sort of pink red sort of like blistery looking demon guy. I don't remember his name. I don't even think he has a name. They might have said it. But he's got like this like silky pink scarf that he can use to cut things, and like he can control with his demon powers, and he's got a cool little spear thing. It's like the Yukimura Sanada spear, where it's like the tip, but then you've got like the two parts of the blade that kind of go off to the side. So it's almost like a weird cross spear, if you will. I guess they're trying to stick with the religious symbolism, since the bad guy's named fucking Lucifer, even though he looks like Dracula. He looks like Dracula with Goku hair, if you ask me. But so Bulma wakes up in a nice little bed, and Lucifer's all like, "Sup, dog? I hope we weren't too rough with you and shit." And she's like, "Bring me to my friends." And he's like, "Very well." And so they go. He takes her and shiz. We don't see Yamcha or Puar, or Oolong for that matter. I mean, he takes Lucifer takes Bulma to like this little chamber thing, and it's all like, "Why are they all laughing at me?" Because they go into this. He's like, "I'm taking you to your friends," and like here they are, but then like it's just like a giant room with like little circle pillar things, and like all these demons laughing at Bulma. It's like, "Go to your throne. Is a throne that you can sit on." I'm like, okay, cool. Why are they all laughing at me? Because you don't get the point. It's like, what? And Igor, this little friggin' gimpy fucking assistant guy, has this giant needle that he's been carrying with him throughout the entire movie. And they tie up Bulma. It's all like, "We're going to take your blood so we can infuse it in this crystal that we call the Sleeping Princess, apparently. She will awaken." So I guess it's kind of like Curse of the Blood Rubies, and sort of like Dragon Ball in general, where they've got like that special item. I think that's kind of what they were going for. They hint that the princess is not an actual princess when like the fucking like blister guys are like, "Princess, she doesn't even exist." And Goku's all like, "Huh?" But yeah, so they get Bulma's fucking blood somehow, through the needle, I guess. I think they did, at least. I'm recording this right after I saw the movie, but I'm kind of blanking on sort of whether or not they got the blood, because this sort of like a big action scene kind of comes in. It's shortly after with Goku and Krillin coming in and shit. Ultimately, everyone gets captured and put in like this weird like cube thing, and Lucifer uses the moon. It takes place at night, by the way. This section takes place at night to like power the crystal to make it all souped up. Because what he's trying to do is power his fucking mana cannon, apparently, like a cannon of like evil energy to like blow up the sun so they can be in darkness. Kind of going along with the fact that even though his name is Lucifer, he looks like Dracula and he hates the sun, and he wants blood. So I don't know. I guess I don't know. I know this is before the whole Mr. Satan Hercule thing, so I don't know. But they're all like, "Look at that big ass moon," because while Goku and the gang are like in like that little crystal wall thingy, or marble wall, if you will. There's like a little opening where they can see the moon. It's like, "Oh, the moon and shit." And Goku's all like, "Where's the moon?" And of course he looks at the moon. He has his tail, by the way, even though he really shouldn't, but he has his tail. And he goes, "Ozaru." He turns into a great ape, and that's how they all break out. It's a really short scene. In fact, thinking about it, it was probably just so that they could explain how they get out. I don't know. Maybe they might have been like, oh shit, we need to figure out how they get out of the little wall thing. But they break out and they cut off his tail pretty quickly too. Like it's one of the more, it's definitely one of the more painless great ape scenes I've ever seen in the entire history of the series. But then Goku and the gang get to the little cannon thingy, and they fight Lucifer, who does like two little balls of energy thing, and then he like swipes at Goku, and their final confrontation is kind of like it's a little anticlimactic. I was kind of hoping for a bit more of a bigger fight scene. I know this is Dragon Ball, so like you're not gonna get like the like fast paced just rapid punching thing that you'll see, but I wanted to see a little more, at least a fight between Goku and Lucifer, just to kind of have that experience. But what ends up, they do sort of like he's about to press the button to blow up the moon. Oh, Goku, do a Kamehameha, and he does a Kamehameha, which I was wondering, because I wanted to see how they would pronounce it. They do the whole Kamehameha, thing. Yes, they do. Pretty standard, Dragon Ball affair. Not anything too crazy, but he does a Kamehameha, blows up the thingy, or the cannon rather, and they escape. Lucifer is alive. His fucking cannon is going haywire. It like locks on him and like kills him, and the crystal explodes inside, and the castle's like is gonna like fucking crash, or at least part of it crashes. And the narrator's like, say cheese, and all the good guys on the next day like take a picture. Master Roshi like, oh, you did it, you brought me back a girl, because they take lunch with her, to kind of go along with that continuity of the story. You brought lunch with her, or you brought lunch with you. It's like, no, she's not the princess though. This'll do. I'll train you both. I'll train you too, Krillin, because you're cool, I guess. And that's how the movie ends. Overall, it was pretty good. I liked it. Again, I will say I wanted to see a little bit more of an action scene between Goku and Lucifer. Maybe even Krillin trying to fight Lucifer. He does get choked out by Lucifer. It's when they get the crystal, and Lucifer's all like, give me the crystal or I'll kill your friend. And it's like, okay, here's the crystal, give me your friend. And he doesn't give him, and his thugs are like beating him up. And there's this like recurring little pink creature that keeps like biting Goku, and it bites his tail, and so that like numbs him and shit. And then fucking a bunch of thugs beat him up while Krillin's getting choked out by Lucifer, and that's how they end up in the thingy. I think in regards to Yamcha, from what I remember, they were disguised. Puar, and Oolong were disguised as the soldiers in the room, but Oolong's transformation wears off because he can only do it for I think 5 minutes, and then Puar, he gets out of his. Puar's a guy, or I'm pretty sure he's a guy. He gets out of his, and because of that, he was using. It's this weird thing where he was using himself to cover up Yamcha, so Yamcha's now exposed, and I think that's kind of how they all get captured. Launch, I don't remember how they catch her. I don't know. It might have been one of those things where they just get her. But so that's kind of. So there was a little bit of an action, and seeing Goku and Krillin beat up the demon soldiers and fight the blister guy who gets killed by a fucking giant monster in the sea that eats them, that they show twice because Krillin is falling and Goku catches him, and he's like, here, sit on the Nimbus Cloud, but of course Krillin can't sit on it because he's not pure of heart. So it happens again, okay, well, just be on my back then. So he gets on his back, but and he has, the pimple guy had these cool, he had 2 blue balls of fire on his feet to help him fly, and I thought that was actually kind of cool. I was thinking, that's a cool idea. But yeah, overall it was pretty fun. I would have liked to see a little more fight between Lucifer and Goku, since main character fighting the bad guy, just a little bit more, not too much. It could still have been in the at the end of the movie, or near to the end of the movie, if they wanted to. Also, if it were to be a longer movie, again, I know it's like 40 minutes, so there's only so much they can do in like the length of 2 episodes. But I think it would have been cool if like maybe they explore the castle a little bit more. That would have been cool. But other than that, it was a pretty good movie. I liked it, and I would definitely recommend it if you like Dragon Ball. Though, again, keep in mind that since this is the first thing Funimation had ever dubbed in-house with Dragon Ball, it'll probably be of a slightly less quality than what you might expect, but it's still pretty good. So, yeah. Pretty good movie. This is Flams, Veronica, Tasuke signing out. Mystical Adventure is next. See you later.